So in this vid I'm going to be checking out the Battlefield 4 beta, and this is my first time on, so this is going to be my immediate reaction to it. Now I've played Battlefield 3 to death, so I'm pretty used to Battlefield games now. I played Battlefield 2 a lot back in 2005 and Battlefield 1942, so I'm a bit of a Battlefield veteran really. So I've been keenly watching the series progress over the years. I think DICE kind of dropped the ball a little bit with Battlefield 3 in many areas, but on the whole I really thought it was a great game. I played it a hell of a lot over the last couple of years, or year even. I think it came out in late 2011. Oh no, 2 years now. Time flies. But anyway, Battlefield 4. I've been pretty keen to play this, but I've not been overly sort of keeping an eye on it because I don't want the hype to build. But the big perk for me is that it's got commander mode. That's the big difference, and 5-player squads as opposed to 4. But anyway, so I'm just fiddling around with the interface here. So this is my first time into a server, 64-player server. Had no issues getting in. Battle log seems as smooth as it was for Battlefield 3. Straight in, no problems there. I'm just clicking around here. So there's obviously a new customization screen for your weapons, which looks quite neat. And yeah, maybe a little bit more slick from the Battlefield 3 layout, but it's not really that much different. So you've got some various, obviously this is all locked, but I'm just getting a feel for some of the customization options, some of the attachments and camo. So it looks pretty cool, some of this. It's all mostly what's in Battlefield 3, but there's some new things there. Green laser sight, I noticed, that's an addition. And some different types of iron sight for the pistol, that's interesting. I think there's a secondary iron sight option you can use for some of the weapons in this as well. Mainly sniper rifles, you can switch between iron sights and sort of like a side sight. Muzzle brakes. So there's a lot to play with here. So this is the map. Urban map. Right, when I'm straight in. Now I'm just getting the feel for it. Straight in and died. So I'm obviously right into the action here. So this is all set for max graphics. I've got it on ultra, and I'm getting a pretty stable frame rate. GTX 670. I've got 16 gigs of RAM and an i7 overclocked, and I'm playing this on an SSD, a Samsung SSD drive, so I've got a very good spec rig and I've got no problems playing this. I'm recording it in fraps and I'm playing it in ultra settings, and I'm getting a stable 30 FPS at the moment. If I turn fraps off I get more like, well, I get 60 because I turn on vertical sync. I'm a big fan of vertical sync. I don't like tearing, but without that on I'm getting around 70 to 80 frames per second, which isn't bad. I'm just getting the feel for it really. So I got the bipods. Graphics seem a lot like Battlefield 3's really. I think maybe they've toned it down for the beta, and I guess they're going to bring all the effects and that into the full game. They've probably suppressed it a little bit, some of the DX11 features maybe. It looks great. So this is good. This is a rangefinder, so this is a new feature you get as a recon class. It's some sort of rangefinder where it actually gives you a distance in meters, which is great. That was a feature I really missed it from in Battlefield 3, was the way you couldn't really zero in on targets with a sniper rifle. So yep, by the looks of it there, if I press V I can actually zero in. So I've set the scope for 500 meters. 200 meters. That's good. And there you go. As you can see, getting a little bit of a drop there. So if I up that to 300, bang on target. So that's good. So you can kind of fire test shots and get a feel for the distance you're shooting, and then fire away. I've managed to open the console here. Debugger at the top left. How do you turn this off? I don't know. Leave this with me. Let me think. What's the obvious button to get rid of the console? I'm tapping away here. Escape doesn't seem to work. It's the tilt key. There we go. So, sound effects are pretty good. They're as good as, I mean, what you expect from a dice game. Sound effects are always great, really. No surprises there. Hit him. Yeah. So like I was saying, you use the rangefinder as a recon class to assess the distance and then bring up your scope and set the distance in meters. And that's quite a good feature. That's a very good feature, in fact. What else? Oh, you can zoom in with the scope. That's good. Variable zoom. I'm going to try and get in the action now. I'm going to try and get some kills. Now, this map looks quite good. It's quite urban, quite vertical, and that's something that I guess was missing from a lot of the Battlefield 3 maps. They're not really vertical in nature, so there's quite an altitude there. I don't think the commander mode's available for this mode, the beta. There will be a commander in the game though, as I'm sure everyone knows, and that's going to be quite an interesting feature. It's going to be fun to see how that plays out. I wonder, I just want to see some grenade effect there, see what happens. That's quite cool. It's a bit more ferocious than Battlefield 3, I think, there. Some quite nice damage. I still miss Bad Company 2's fully destructible environment, so I must say I don't think the environment in this game is fully destructible. No, I think DICE really kind of dropped the ball a little bit with that. They claim that this is more destructible than 3 in terms of cover and stuff being blown, but from what I've read, it's not. It's really Battlefield 3. It's just a little slightly more destructible. But Bad Company 2 is insane for destruction. You could just level every building on the map. But then again, they weren't as complex maps as this, though, so it all kind of pans out. It's all relative. Here we go. Same old thing with Battlefield games, though. First thing I'm obviously noticing is one-hit kills isn't the case with sniping, and I appreciate that if one-hit kills enables everyone would snipe in this game. But it is frustrating when you get a nice clean hit and you don't get a kill. I guess you've got to go for headshots though, but it's very hard. So I'm just getting a feel for it here. It feels, I mean, I got pretty good in Battlefield 3 when it came to sniping. I eventually moved on from that though, and I played support more than most other classes, just ran in there with a machine gun. But this feels slightly different. I mean, I think the bullets seem to be moving at a slightly different speed. It's thrown me slightly anyway, but it's just getting a feel for it. It may be the weapon. Oh, that was a bad miss.
Objective Alpha has been neutralized.
That was just frustrating.
Be advised, I've spotted a hostile tank due east of your location.
Well, like I say, just getting a feel for it right now.
We have just taken Objective Alpha.
Some nice background effects there. So it's got voice over IP as well, which is interesting. So I've got some people in my squad, some random players I don't know, and they're chatting over voice over IP, which is a good feature. I missed that in Battlefield 3. So what's this on the? Oh, what's going on? Oh, the building's coming down. Well, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice feature that. It's scripted in the sense that
There appears to be an enemy machine gunner.
well, it's not scripted, but it's basically the only building that can come down like that. So I don't find things like that particularly impressive, if I'm being honest. It's not natural enough. It's just obviously part of some preset script in the game. But it does change the dynamic of the battle though, because now there's smoke everywhere and rubble and debris, so it kind of means that everyone's got a slightly different amount of cover, I guess. It's not a bad feature, it's a good feature, but it's just not one that I'm that excited about. I could try and get some kills. I'm feeling pretty rusty at the moment when it comes to my sniping, I must say, so you're not going to really see much skill here, I don't think. 1 or 2 kills I'll be happy with. So I'm going to move on from this position, I think. I'm camping, let's be honest. I'm not really doing a great deal for the team. That's enemy boat, that's quite cool. That's something that you didn't really see much in Battlefield 3, but you didn't see it at all, in fact. There we go, another hit but no kill. Oh, frustrating. Finally, just starting to get a feel for it now. You leave a smoke trail when you snipe in this. That's a slightly different feature. I'm guessing that there's something you unlock where you can hide that. Don't know what I think about that actually, the smoke trail business.
I've spotted an enemy machine gunner east of your current position. Could a mechanic take a look at my rifle?
So, like I say, feels like Battlefield 3 at the moment, but just finessed. There's some nice new little touches. This rangefinder's the big thing for me, so I can actually target. It's like a SOFLAM. I can target tanks and stuff, but whilst on the move, and that's quite a good feature. I can see that playing out quite nicely. It's quite fun.
I've spotted an enemy helicopter east of your position.
Taking hits.
I spotted a hostile. Objective Bravo has been neutralized. I've got a visual on an enemy tank located east of you. We've just taken Objective Bravo.
There we go, headshot. Getting a feel for it now. So if I whip out the rangefinder, I can probably target that chopper. And in theory, players with RPGs, I think it's kind of weird. You get homing RPGs in this game. I'm guessing DICE are kind of preempting what may be coming on the battlefield in the future. Infantry arms with homing anti-tank measures. Who knows? Seems a little bit like overkill to me at the moment, but it kind of turns the tide in favour of the infantry. a little bit more.
Enemy tank, east of your current position. Enemy move, spotted.
So a load of enemies up on that, on the debris there. I think I may be too exposed here. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. I don't like the way it highlights the enemy player in red who's killed you. That just, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to it, but I don't like that. I don't know though. Maybe I'm just too used to Battlefield 3. I mean, Battlefield 3 system wasn't exactly great. It just zoomed in on them. So I'm playing as support now, and that's good. So you get a slight variable zoom adjustment there with your scope.
Hey, my vehicle is damaged. I need a mechanic. We have taken objective Alpha. We have what appears to be an enemy vehicle located east of your location.
I don't know where I'm going. I'm just trying to get into the action. I don't think they've made much of a change with the support class really. I mean, you still throw down your ammo. You've got this new gun here, the airburst, the XM25 airburst. I've read about this. I've not used it yet though, so I'm just going to use it now. Just a little kind of, I don't know. I guess it's just there to perhaps act as a slightly anti-vehicle weapon. A support class couldn't really do much against vehicles. So that kind of helps, I guess.
Spotted a hostile soldier. I spotted hostile machine
Don't think much of this LMG, but you're not exactly going to get a good one as a default weapon. L85, L85A2, I can't remember the name of it. The LMG in Battlefield 3 you unlock. It's very good. It's one of my favourites. L86A2, I think. That was the one I used to always use. Just playing around with single shots, burst mode. So yeah, I'm not overly excited about what I'm seeing. I've got to be honest. Not in a bad way, but just he came out of nowhere. I had no chance. I think he was waiting for me. But what I mean by that, I'm not saying I'm not excited about Battlefield 4. I am, but it's not. It doesn't seem like a great leap to me. It's basically Battlefield 3.5 really. So that's fine. I'm looking forward to playing more Battlefields and getting commanders and 5-player squads. They're the main two features I'm looking forward to really. 5-player squads in particular, because the commander mode is on paper very good, but we all know what it's like in reality. You'll get some noob playing as a commando who just talks a load of shit on the mic and trolls servers, or somebody who's overly insistent that you follow their every order. But anyway, we'll see how it pans out. But it just feels like Battlefield 3.5 to me, but that's fine. It just is going to be a progression, but it's not going to be an evolution. I mean, when Battlefield 3 first came out, I was very, very excited. But that was because we'd all been waiting years for a Battlefield game. Proper one. Bad Company 2 was kind of halfway house, really. Oh well. Not really concentrating now. But it's been 2 years now since Battlefield 3 was released, and nothing's really happened since in terms of the FPS scene, in my opinion. So we've not really had much else to play if you're into mil sims. or not milsims, but online FPS games, competitive ones. I mean, I've abandoned COD. I abandoned COD back in 2010, really. COD Black Ops 1 was the last COD I really put the hours into. Black Ops 2 doesn't seem very good from what I've seen, and Modern Warfare 3 I didn't even touch. So, there you go.
Heads up! Enemy sniper due east of your location.
But I'm definitely going to be playing this. I'm just hoping that they release some good maps, because Battlefield games ultimately are as good as the maps. So with all these fancy features, it's all very well saying, yep, we've got 5-player squads, we've got Commander, we've got voice over IP, but really the thing that we want is a list of really, really good maps. Battlefield 3 had some great maps, but it had some terrible maps as well. But the great maps were truly brilliant maps, in my opinion. My favourite being Carg Island. I love that map. So let's just hope Battlefield 4 delivers on that front. From what I'm seeing, I don't like this map, I have to admit. This particular map I'm on now just doesn't seem that great to me. Just seems like a lot of camping, a lot of sniping on rooftops. And there's no jets either. I mean, for me, you have to have jets for it to be Battlefield. You need that sense of it being a proper war zone. So you've got jets, choppers, tanks, and boats, hopefully, all on one map. Or the opposite of that, condensed urban sort of maps where it's just all about infantry. I don't mind that, as long as the map's good. But yeah, this map might grow on me. I don't know. So you can swim. I'm going to try and make it over to that boat. Get in the boat. Apparently you can dive. I'm going to try that out. Let's give that a go. That's a bit... dunno, that's not really that impressive really. I think they need to add an underwater sound effect for that to work. It didn't really feel like I was underwater there. I'm sure that's just a beta limitation, but they need some kind of sound effect. You know what I'm talking about, the kind of underwater sound you get where everything just sounds like it's dampened and you're sort of taken away slightly by the action there. You sort of feel like you're slightly absent. So I'm going back to support class. Finally raked up another kill. That's fine. Yay, finally. A couple of kills there. A lot of the time Battlefield's about being in the right place at the right time. It really is. A lot of the time. Not all of the time, but certainly a lot of the time. So I'm going to storm in there. So the action's kind of kicking off now. It all seems a little quiet, really. But it seems to be getting really hectic now. Which is what you want. I do have to keep reminding myself that I'm not playing Battlefield 3 though, I have to be honest. But, like I say, that's fine. Just seems like a slightly finessed version of Battlefield 3. I think that's really what this is. An expensive, finessed version. I do think it's a bit of a travesty though, if I'm honest, that EA are charging quite so much for this game. Particularly with the online download, that is, the digital origin download. And the premium version as well. It all adds up. But that's just me. And let's face it, I'm sure this game will have single player, but who's going to play it? I certainly won't be. I couldn't care less about single player. Try and use the XM25 here, try and get some airburst kills. Oh, where did he come from? I don't know if he was there all that time, I'm not sure. I mean, he may have just spawned there, I don't know, who knows. Yeah, it seems pretty fun. Oh, the round's ended, I was just going to round it up anyway. But yeah, there we go. I got 5 kills, 7 deaths, not terrible for my first attempt. I did go on before, but only very, very, very briefly. So, yeah, there you go. Battlefield 4. It seems good. It seems solid. It seems pretty stable for a beta release. I think this is. I remember the Battlefield 3 initial sort of release was very, very buggy, but this seems pretty stable, pretty solid. Yep, I'll be buying this, but it's pretty much Battlefield 3.5 in my opinion.